A recent study in the professional journal Psychological Science explains that morality is more central to our essential identity than mere memory. The authors studied patients who had suffered from frontal temporal dementia, where damage could indeed lead to socially unacceptable behavior. And they studied those patients with Alzheimer's disease, where memory recedes and disappears. The research went on to show that as long as moral capacity is not harmed, then the essential self remains, even as memory might disintegrate. This research actually informs us this morning about the encounter that Jesus has with the deranged, demon-filled man in the land of the Gerasenes, the territory that is adjacent to Israel, and not Jesus' homeland. So who is this man? Did he know his essential self and believe on some level that he was non-redeemable, that he was not able to fully live in this condition that had driven him mad over time? Would whatever possessed him rob him of his ability to be able to find redemption and healing and be returned to his true self, clothed in a right mind? Or was this man condemned to just exist in this barren, ugly, inhumane state? We throw around this phrase of demonic possession a lot these days, referring to the act of demonizing others who disagree with us, especially from a political perspective. Yet, perhaps all of us can attest to that time of possession, a time when a sense of helplessness, hopelessness, darkness has overtaken us. In the ancient world, this feeling was defined as evil or satanic, producing malignant actions upon self and others. Actions meant to protect the self, but often becoming a self-loathing, as portrayed in the man of many demons in the gospel of this day. That man believed he had no power. He lived in a tomb, a place not only of death, but eventual decay. He felt unworthy of any human interaction, breaking his bonds, escaping back into the darkness and self-loathing. Yet, he finally chose to engage, challenging the holy healer Jesus to pay attention to him, make him whole, using some reverse psychology in his cry out to Jesus. He chose. More importantly, he surrendered. He surrendered to his source, greater, more forceful, more powerful in love and compassion than we could ever imagine. In that surrender, that unnamed man came out of the tomb anew, prepared to be in his right mind, whole, transformed. You might be a member of Narcotics or Alcoholics Anonymous. You know well this needed surrender to a higher power, a transformation from darkness into the light of the authentic self. Look at how genuine freedom came to this man. No one, it says, could tame his self-destruction. He was out of his right mind. He wore no clothes. He reveled in his self-abandonment. But now he is sitting. He's not wandering about. He's fully clothed, perhaps with that tunic that Jesus kept in his backpack. Even more so, he is now clothed in Jesus' righteousness. He's able to quietly contemplate his rightful place in humanity. The demons had robbed him. They had robbed him of peace and joy and self-care. They had robbed him of his self-identity. They took away his worthiness with only disorder in his mind and self-loathing in his daily living. So, how does this dramatic chapter of Jesus' interaction with evil affect us this morning? Do we not sometimes fear powers that might overwhelm us, that might control us in some destructive way? Maybe we dwell in a self-pity that depresses our activity, that has us shying away from others, secluding ourselves in that pity. Perhaps it is our need to demonize others rather than to remember and exercise our baptismal covenant to respect and raise up the dignity of every human being. Perhaps it is our refusal to acknowledge the demons of past generations, the remnants of such holding us from being more fully our authentic, true self. There's some irony in hearing this gospel story this morning, because just 3 days ago, we celebrated the day that is called Juneteenth Day. Our brothers and sisters of color recognize that day as they remember and celebrate a liberation from slavery, moving away from self-destruction, running away from darkness into the light of the faith that they held in the liberating, loving Christ. Today, we are again reminded that Jesus indeed has power over the darkness, has power over that which wars against us. It reminds us that we do hold power as well in the choice to walk with Jesus, and to walk with Jesus not only in the greatest of joys, but in the worst of circumstances, moving away just from death and decay, ever into newness of life, escaping from the tomb, entering into a holy partnership, giving witness to a harmony with God and with God's purpose upon this world. It is to refuse to give in to despair and hopelessness, to cry out for healing and compassion for ourselves and for all who are possessed by evil in some form or fashion, and hearing and living anew the words of Christ. Declare how much God has done for you. And so, this day, we join with that man of another time, proclaiming how much God has done for every one of us in this time.